Leanne Branham. Do you want to reduce your chances of getting Alzheimer's or dementia? A study in the UK back in 2006 by Simon, McCollum, and McFarland have say that gardening, putting these on, getting out, getting physical, can reduce your chances by 36%. 36. That is a high number. Everyone, I'm sure, has been affected by someone either they know personally or know of somebody that has been affected by Alzheimer's or dementia. I personally have been affected by it. My father-in-law passed away about 10 years ago from Alzheimer's, and it is not a pleasant road for them to go after. As a registered nurse, I have seen patients over my career field. I've been in the medical field since I was 16. I came across this one patient that I asked him, I said, how do you stay so young? Mind you, he was 98 years old, and he accredited gardening. He said it is something that he did as a necessity while he was growing up and into his young adulthood, just to survive. Now he does it because he enjoys it so much. He says it's a place of serenity for him. He's able to go outside, forget about his problems, and get a little bit of activity and able to come in and then deal with all the problems, because he is currently taking care of his elderly wife that does have Alzheimer's. So today I want to talk to you and define what biophilia is, and I want to also give you the benefits, the physical benefits and the psychosocial benefits that go along with gardening. So let's start off with biophilia. This term, as defined in the Webster's Dictionary, is a hypothetical tendency for humans to want to get back to the natural form in nature's. It says Edward Wilson, a biologist from the Harvard University, says that people are instinctively wanting to be drawn to the nature. He says, and there are so many health benefits that go along with biophilia. So now that I've defined biophilia, let's talk about some of the health benefits associated with gardening. Let me give you a little bit of backstory. This is my grandfather. I was 1 year old here, sitting on his lap. I did not realize what a passion I would start having for gardening because of him. He would take me out into the garden, and I would think I was getting all sneaky, and I would take one of the little cherry tomatoes or a cucumber, and I would eat it real quick thinking I was doing something bad. Well, he would just laugh about it and chase me around, and then it became a game. Well, then I started noticing I really like doing this, and it was very soothing for me, and I can still now go out into my garden and think of my grandfather, take one of the little hot cherry tomatoes and pop it in my mouth, and I immediately have peace. Not realizing that this right here, this gentleman, my grandfather, would cause me to have such emotions and such a passion for gardening. The next thing we're going to look at is a picture of my garden. My husband built this for me about 5 years ago after many years of me wanting one and fighting and fussing over it. Sandra Jacobs wrote back in 2016 or 2014 in an article that talked about the benefits of gardening, reported that a Stockholm study reported that just 10 minutes a day in the midday, which obviously we have a lot of sun here in San Antonio, that just 10 minutes a day can reduce your chances of having a stroke or a heart attack by 30%, just from that vitamin D alone. That is a crazy, crazy number. Same article shows that they were following about 3,000 people for 16 years, and they found out that gardening can reduce your risks of getting dementia and Alzheimer's by upwards of 47%. That's almost 50%. And it's also reported in the 1996 Surgeon General report on physical activity and health concluded that 30 minutes a day in moderate activity, to include gardening, can reduce chronic conditions such as type 2 diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, and colon cancer. It also reports that it helps with weight management and also with overall physical functioning, which, as we know, as we get older, being physically active is very important. There is another article that also talks about the benefits of gardening for the older adult by Wang and McMillan, states that gardening was found to be beneficial for people with activities of daily living and all social aspects of older people in a nursing home. So now let's talk about the psychosocial benefits of gardening. In the same article as mentioned above by Jacobs, A Dutch study reports that your cortisol level, which is your stress hormone, just after 30 minutes of gardening can be reduced. And that gives you a higher level of self-esteem, depression is reduced. Another article that's Why Gardening is Good for Your Health by Ian Harding in 2011 reports that there was a study in Norway that's saying that patients with type 2 or bipolar type 2 disorder have a marked reduction in their depression symptoms just 3 months after getting out and gardening. And they say the benefits of it continued for months after even stopping gardening. There was also an article, Health Benefits Bloom by Digging in the Garden, that was written for US Today by Julia Savakul, who says that using gardening as a tool can help people cope with issues such as anxiety. Learning the benefits of gardening to include physical and mental health can lead one down to a road of long-lasting wellness and well-being for many, many years to come. In my introduction, I mentioned that I mentioned that there are many health and benefits of gardening. Hopefully I was able to give you many reasons as to start this amazing hobby for yourself. As Alfred Austin eloquently states, the glory of gardening, hands in the dirt, head in the sun, heart with the soul, heart with nature. To nurture a garden is to not feed just the body, but the soul. Have a good evening.